What's going on, everybody? Good morning, happy Wednesday. Today I've got a DD13 common oil leak. Okay, if you have a DD15, DD13, the same thing, the same rules apply. Oil leaks, number one, you're always going to find it here on these seals. Now the customer noticed that one of these is a little moist, so he wants to get to it before it actually gets worse. So we're going to go ahead and replace all six. I'm going to do it a little differently. Normally I like to get all this crap out of the way. I get this out of the way, get the filter out of the way, but I don't want to deal with the coolant lines that are back there. So I'm going to try it. I've done it a few times, but we're going to do it here. We're going to go ahead and replace the seals without actually having to remove all the crap and accessories out of the way. But we're going to do it one by one. So what I recommend, here's a few things you're going to need. Okay, give you guys a quick little heads up. You're going to need your 10mm socket. Okay, I have a 12 point, a shorty, and the one's a little bit longer. That's for the seals that are on the side. Okay, they're going to have two little bolts on the side. The seal has something that says top, if you can see that there. All that means is this comes out towards you. Okay, because look, you can put it the other way if you want, but that ain't going to work. So that's all it is. I like to have them all face the same direction. So for example, where it says top and the part number will always be literally at the 12 o'clock position. This will be down here at the 7 o'clock 8 o'clock position. So again, we're going to replace all of them here. We're not going to replace the fuel lines. We're going to reuse the fuel lines. Back in the day, I know they said you had to replace them if you remove them. That I know holds true for the high pressure line, but we're not going to do the high pressure line. We're only going to work on the 6 individual seals. You're going to need a couple tools like this. Okay, got a 1/2 inch, I've got a 3/8, I've got something like this so I can get into the little something like this so I can get into the little bolts that hold down the seal. Little extension, got a little cute ratchet. Okay, so you might need this little screwdriver, and that's just, I'll explain that in a second. You are going to need something like this, and that's to get to the number 6, the hidden one. Okay, I call it the hidden one because it's really a pain in the butthole to get to, and that one I'm probably not going to film because it's very hard to get to. So again, you're still going to remove this the same using your 19mm or 3/4. The seal, however, is right back. Hold on, there we go, right back in there, if you guys can see that. So that little 10mm ratchet, or it's not a ratchet, but you get the idea. It's got a nice little swivel head on there, but that's going to help you when you install it and when you remove it. I do use a little bit of this, a little bit of gasket maker. I just simply apply a little bit there on the inside, so when I install it, I do have a little bit of brake cleaner. Okay, the brake cleaner itself, just to kind of clean it before I actually put it all back together. So right now what I want to do, and oh, don't forget, you're going to need to torque it 30 foot-pounds, 30 foot-pounds. Okay, very important. You're going to need to do that. So I'm going to set up the shot. Right now it is almost 10 o'clock. I got to get this done before 12, which should not be a problem if all comes together well. Once we're all done, I'm going to prime the system one more time just so I don't have to struggle with it starting, and then we'll be all done. Make sure it's all set. Customer will come pick it up and we'll go from there. So let me set up the shot and fuck it, let's go, let's get her done. All right, now this one you're definitely going to need a short socket to get into it. The two that I have long will not work here. Okay, they're just not going to work because it's going to butt up against this. So I got to find that socket. I have no idea where the hell I left it, but either way, what I can do is I can move over to the number 2, which is going to be right here. Okay, if you guys can see that there, let's see if I can get a little better shot. All right, that's good enough for me. Let's go. Okay, that's done. You know what, let me they put a zip tie here. Let me get this out of the way so I can work around it. And yeah, let's do that really quick. Be right back. Okay guys, so I gotta look for that socket. I'm gonna worry about that last because that's probably what I'm gonna need at the very end. Some of these, the socket, the tool's not going to work, so you're going to need your 19. Same thing, you're going to pop that in there and then just loosen that up. Again, I'm just going to go one by one. Fuck it, let's just do one by one so it's not as messy. You're going to have a little bit of dirt and grime. That's pretty normal. So again, just repeat the process, guys. I'm going to try to fast forward most of this shit. There we go. Some of these you can actually get out with your finger, you know, like with your, just like that. Sometimes. Other times, not so much. Okay, you are going to have a little bit of diesel that's going to leak. Just put a rag, kind of keep that, look at that, just up and out of the way. I'm still going to clean these up a little bit. Don't use a, I'm going to clean these up a little bit. I don't recommend using a wire brush. Just use a nice clean rag or something like that. Do both ends, okay? Just kind of keep that in mind. Let's get our 10. Hold on, I don't like the way this is really in the way. It doesn't make any sense. All right, again, don't use any power tools, guys. Just nice and easy, just like that. That's all you're gonna wanna do. Done, okay? The same thing goes when you're tightening, when you're gonna go ahead and tighten these down. I think the torque is like something inch-pounds. It's very, very little. Let's just put these up here so we don't misplace those. And then to remove it, all you're gonna do is something like this, guys. Take a look, hold on. Hoping the camera shows it. Just literally with your finger, lift up, and that's it, comes right out. Get rid of these, throw these away. You're not gonna need them anymore, obviously. Get a nice clean cloth. A little bit of brake clean, just like that. Clean it up, and that way you've got a nice clean mating surface when you're gonna put in your new seal, okay? You don't need to do anything else, nothing like that. That's pretty much that, okay? Grab a little bit of, grab your seal. Again, you're gonna have, it's gonna say top, and it's gonna have the part number. So this is what's gonna come facing out to you, okay? Flat side is obviously gonna go that way. The reason I bring that up is I had a customer ask me like, hey, did you put that on the wrong way? No, again, you can either put the top part at the 12 o'clock or the part number at the 12 o'clock. It's really up to you, but either way, this is gonna face outwards. And then what I like to do is grab a little bit of the gasket eliminate. You guys can see that. Not a lot, man, just a little bit. Whether it helps or not, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but you guys can comment down there and we'll go from there. So again, top side down, part number up, and all you're gonna do, I'm just gonna try and do this so you guys can get a better view. Hold on. That's it. Just roll it in with your fingers. Make sure you don't cross the threads. Then just lift it up on that side. Okay. If it's in there, grab your extension, grab your socket one more time. There we go. Now we're in. Now the harness is going to get in your way a little bit, guys, so you're going to have to move that around and adjust to the harness. And that's it. And I like to leave it just a little loose because I like to have just a little bit of room when I'm actually installing the fuel line, if that makes any sense. Try to clean up the fuel line. See how that's got a little bit of debris, a little bit of rust? Try to clean that up as best you can with the rag. I don't recommend a wire brush or wheel brush or anything like that. Just kind of clean it off as best you can. Get all that debris off. Same thing on the other end. You want to do the same thing there, okay? Once you're done, you're going to go ahead and just simply, this is all going to be by feel. So this is going to go in as straight as it can. You're going to feel it on the other end once it mates up with that surface. Okay, same thing like I've showed you guys in the other videos. Just roll it a little bit with your fingers. You're going to grab your 19, whether you got a little shorty like this, and you're simply going to push and turn forward. Okay, since nothing really was moved, it should be pretty straightforward, guys. Okay, yeah, it caught nicely, which is good. If you missed it or something like that, you would know right away. You're going to feel it. That's it. Oops. Same thing. Get this thing down over here. We're going to grab our tool and we're going to torque this down to 30 foot-pounds, okay? 30. We're going to torque this to 30 foot-pounds. The little bolts that are here, the 10 millimeter, those are just going to be kind of snug. So let me see if I can do that right now. Show you guys. Again, don't overdo it because you will strip it. And yeah, that's going to be in a world of hurt. See, so right there, and just give it a little something extra. You're done. That's it. little something extra, done. Okay, so easy peasy. Let's torque this down to 30 foot-pounds. There's 30. You can do the same thing for the top one right there, okay? That's it. Number 2, all done, okay? Now, if you want to grab a marker or something like that and go ahead and, you know, put something there, let you guys know. I see some guys do that. They'll get a little bit of a yellow paint there. They'll do that on both ends. That's kind of a little indicator that it's been done. So that's actually a really good practice, guys. So anyway, we're gonna move on to number 3, which is right there, okay? Let me turn this off, get ready, we'll go from there. Okay guys, we're back. So number 2 is done. I'll get the marker and kind of paint that up really quick, just kind of a little visual indicator. I did find the socket I was talking about. Now this one I bought through Snap-on. I'm pretty sure you can find it somewhere else. This works really well because again, it's gonna get into this little tight spot that normally, this is the shorty one, right? That normally this one won't let you. Now if you've got the coolant filter here, it's definitely not going to let you. Some of the newer DD15s, DD13s don't have a coolant filter, and there's plenty of room because obviously they've eliminated this garbage out of the way. So when this isn't going to work, you're going to have to switch over to something like this. So grab that, grab that. That's it. That should be pretty straightforward, guys. Every once in a while this thing slips, but I think I just got to get a new one. It's used it one too many times. Holy fuck, that's in there really good. Oh, fuck it. That's where you get your 19. Get some leverage. Loosen that up. Let's see, hopefully this thing didn't jump on me. Okay, good, it worked. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys, so you get the point. We're gonna fast forward through most of the stuff anyway. Try to make these videos short, ADHD friendly, mechanic friendly, user friendly. You get the idea. Now keep in mind, guys, I'm trying to get this done quickly because I got another unit coming in that's going to get towed in, and I have no more bays and no more room. So the faster I can get this thing out of the way, the better, okay? Now this is already loosened up. I've showed you guys how to do number 2. We're gonna repeat the process and we're gonna work our way over to the number 1. So, yeah, look at that. So, see how it's getting stuck? It's not gonna let you come out. So, what you're gonna need to do is remove these 10 mil bolts. 10 millimeter bolts, 10 mil, whatever the hell you guys want to call it. Let's go ahead and get that done, okay? Something simple. And then it's gonna have to come out with the seal. I've noticed that on the DD13, especially with the short nose ones, at the rear by the air compressor or by the fuel pump, yeah, it's gotta come out together. See, I gotta use a short little socket. Let's get that one. Okay, so use a little shorty, guys. You're going to need to have a couple different tools in your arsenal. These suck because they will scratch you at the wrong times. There we go. You get the idea. We'll put some new zip ties in later. Make it look all pretty. So see, look at that. If it were damaged, the thread, you would see the actual threads kind of falling and coming on here, or you know, being chased on there. But anyway, y'all get the idea. Let the fingers do the magic, baby. Good, it didn't fall down there. Put that up. Now again, you're gonna take it out with your seal. See what I mean? Sometimes you gotta take it out together, all as one. See the top? or the tip of that, it's always going to have some kind of either rust or something. Not sure why. I don't know if that's just fuel related or maybe where the truck came from. I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's done. And again, just repeat the process, guys. Do the same thing. There we go. So clean it up. All done, right? So let's get the seal. Let's apply a little bit of the gasket maker. So again, I'm going to put the where it says top at the lower position down there. Now you're going to have to put this in together like this, just because again, there's no, that seal, believe it or not, eats up some of that real estate. So at this point, all right, I got that lined up. I got that lined up. You know what? I'm gonna have to get these little bolts in there to hold that seal in place. That's not gonna work.
Buenos días, jefe.
¿Qué pasó, mano? ¿Cómo está?
Aquí nomás ir a interrumpirlo.
Alright, guys, so you get the idea. This is already done here. We're gonna go ahead and make sure this is gonna go ahead and meet with the injector, which it does feel like it's meeting up nicely, and you're just gonna repeat that thing all the way through. See, it's not there yet. Push and then turn. Okay, push and turn, push and turn, push and turn. You may struggle a little bit because the seal itself is going to give you some resistance, because again, you're you're getting the injector to meet with that seal, and you're going to kind of push it through, right? So it's going to have a little bit of resistance, a little bit of bounce to it. All right, guys, same thing. 30 foot-pounds. There you go. Okay. Same thing. You're gonna grab this little bad boy, and you're gonna go ahead and torque it down. Hold on. Now it is gonna jump on you a little bit, so be patient, guys. Hold on. Let me get a better angle in here. Okay, all done. So again, guys, same thing. Just give a little something and you're done. Very little, you don't need to do a lot. Again, the last thing you want to do, the last thing you don't want to do is strip those, and then you're going to really be in a world of shit, and it's going to leak oil. Hold on. And just give it a little extra. All done. Okay, so number one, all set. Number two, all done. Let me set up the shot for number three. We're gonna work our way all the way down. Okay, guys, we're back. So we went ahead and finished up number two. We did number one. Now we're gonna work our way 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Again, same thing. You guys get the idea. You know what time it is. There you go. All done. All done. Okay, this is pretty much ready to go with your finger. You can see that. You're going to need your 19, and then you're just going to continue that process, guys. Just loosen that up, loosen that up, loosen that up. Again, the tips you can see there, it's going to have a little bit of that, a little bit of soot. Just clean that off, wipe it off. You should be okay, guys. If not, then obviously you're going to have to replace the line, whatever you feel comfortable with. Maybe use a little bit of like a Scotch-Brite or something like that. Just kind of get that shit off there. pop that out right there. All done. Get that out of the way. All right, so all done. Let's get the seal. Let's put it all back together and we're gonna move our way down the line there, okay? Same thing, guys, right? Make that up in there, line it up, get your little bolt in there, run it with your fingers. I know the camera's not really letting me show much. Big hands are in the way. There we go. Okay, run it, leave it just a little loose, and that way you can still move this seal kind of up and down depending on what you need to do. And then you're going to run it down again.
Ay, con permiso, hija.
No, pásale, pásale, gracias. Okay, that's done. And again, you're gonna push and turn, okay? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Don't forget, guys, we're gonna torque this thing down one more time. Get your socket in there. Oh, wait a minute. Make sure it's run all the way down. Your fingers nice and snug. That's done. Get your socket in there. All done. We're going to tighten down our seal. That's it, right? Same thing, one on the inside. Once it stops, give it just a little something extra. All done. And then don't forget to mark it. That way you know, all done. So continue. Let's keep moving on, guys. Hopefully that camera's showing that there. Let's move my big hand. Done. And done. Okay. Again, guys, don't use any power tools, air tools, nothing like that. I don't care if it's an electric Milwaukee or whatever you guys got going on. I don't know, maybe I'm just superstitious, but I just, I fear that when the thread comes out, you're gonna be screwed. So just keep that in mind. There you go, and I think that was the one the customer was concerned about. See how that oil's on there? Okay. All right, nice and clean. There we go, number 4. Nice. Come on, baby. There we go. Again, couldn't they just move this a little bit out or a little bit out of the way? Never understand those guys. So anyway, here we go. There you go, háblame, papá. Hey Joe, what's happening, buddy? Okay, that's done.
Hello. Hello. How are you doing?
Okay, all done, guys. Move number 5. Number 6, I'm going to record that as best I can, but again, it's just such a weird angle. But I'll do my best anyway. Fuck it, you guys get the idea, guys. All done. This one's a little bit more awkward to get to, but you get the idea. Same rules apply, guys. Now this one you're going to need kind of a little swivel extension, that way you can get there, because it's literally located right behind this primary fuel line. Let's see if we can get it better. So this one right over here, the one closest to the, there we go, and that's it, guys. Loosen that up, get that one out. So just to give you a general idea, when you pull these out, you're actually going to feel just how dry they are, and more of a preventative thing to get those things replaced. This way you're not leaking oil everywhere. Okay, clean that up a little bit, make it look nice and clean. Alrighty guys, so the fun begins on this one. Because it's a little more accessible, I'm going to work on the left side first, which is going to be this little, there we go. I'm going to put the left one and the right one, just because again it is a little bit further out there. I'm going to work on that one last, and then we'll put the fuel line in and we'll go from there. All right, sometimes the fingers just don't reach, guys, so you're gonna do something like this. You got to get a little creative. There we go. Nice and easy, guys. Do not cross the threads. Don't get impatient. Again, you're gonna push and turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn. You're gonna feel it. Once it catches, it's nice. It goes smooth up until the very end, where you're gonna start feeling that resistance on the seal. Remember, torque it down. 30 foot-pounds, baby. Number 1. Number 2. Don't forget the little friends over here on the side. Okay, and then just give it a little extra. All done. Alrighty guys, so we finished up number 5. So we've done 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down the line, which is really nice. So now I'm gonna record as best I can number 6, which again is the one that's always the most difficult to get to, just because, look at that. Okay, that's actually not too bad. There we go. Loosen that up with your 19. When it jumps out, you're gonna feel it, and then you're gonna know, like, oh, it's out, it's ready to go. Nope, not quite. So close, so close. Same thing. Clean that up a little bit. Make sure you don't have any extra soot or rust or anything. See, that one's always gonna get some. I don't know why it does that. All right, that's done. That one you can actually reach with your fingers on the outside. Oh, you should be able to. There we go. There you go. I think we're gonna need to go with something like this. So, bear with me. Hold on, guys. There we go. All right, I think we got it. Alrighty, so anyway, that's why you gotta have multiple things in your arsenal, guys, so you can work on it. Get your fingers in there. Yeah, this is a little bit of a tight spot, man. So if you got some really fat fingers, it's gonna be a good one. I'm sure they make a tool for it, but you guys get the idea. So there you go. She's out. There's our old seal. Let's get a visual inspection on that. All right, looks good to me. This is all by touch, guys, so it's nice when the engine's out. You can do everything you need out here, but in a normal application, yeah, it's not fun, man. So here we go. Run that shit down all the way with your fingers. Now what I like to do is get it snug, and that way that seal doesn't move on me. I'm gonna try to line it up as best I can. Final fuel line. All right. Run it down with your fingers, guys. Same thing. The one back here. That one I kind of like to use this. So the same rule applies. You're going to push and then turn to the right. Okay, just because the space is very limited. So here we go. Now you got to get on the. There we go. I think it actually caught on the first one, which is nice. So just keep doing that with your hand, and at the very end you can use your ratchet or whatever, you know, whatever tools you got on you. Torque. Remember, there's the outside line. See, a lot of times this, oh, actually, look at that. It did fit. What do you know? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Sometimes I know on the DD15, this isolator is a little too far to the right, and it doesn't let you get that. All done. Now the fun begins. The last one. Here we go. So we're going to tighten this down. So what I like to do is get this in between the fuel line and this little return line. Okay. Stops. You get a little screwdriver like this, and I just give a little something extra, and I'm all done, guys. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I know that wasn't the best visual that we had there, but we're all done. So alrighty, guys, so just like that, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all done. Last thing I need to do now is just simply, sorry, here we go, put this back. I'm gonna put some zip ties, get everything nice and cleaned up. Okay. Don't forget the sensor, because it will give you a check engine light. Lock it down. And then again, like I said, last thing last, we're gonna go ahead and zip tie everything here, and then we're all set, guys. So the last thing I wanna do, and I'll probably just show it just for the sake of the video, is I'm gonna put all this away. I'm gonna go ahead and prime the fuel system. This is what we use to prime it. This one is made by Davco, D-A-V-C-O. A little on the pricey side, but if you're working a lot of DD13, DD15, this is really nice. Very, very helpful to have. Comes in handy. Suction side, that's what's going to go into your clean diesel. Pressure, that's what's going to go over to your truck. You have a 95 psi, and then you have like a 50 psi. So, and it tells you what it's for. So 95 is for the high pressure, 50 is just kind of you do a oil change, and that's that. So let me get all this stuff put away. Let me get that going, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and use the Davco to prime the fuel system. Now, you don't have to do something like that. I'm sure you can manually pump it. It really doesn't lose prime here, but I just want to do it to prevent anything from happening up there on the top side. So you have your red, which is going to be your pressurized side. You have your green, which is your suction side. And all you're going to do is connect everything, click it on. I kind of wait for it to do its magic. That opens the valve. You're going to open up this valve here. You're going to get a little bit of that sound, which is pretty normal because, again, it's going to get a little bit of air. And that's it, guys. You could just let it run for about a minute or two. And that's it. Hold on. So there you go, guys. Get you guys a little view of what's going on down there. I kind of wait for this to get a little more solid. So once it does that, then I go ahead and feel comfortable about what we're doing. Okay, excuse me. Okay, what I see. All right, guys, so now we're pressured up. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up. Open it up here. Hold on, guys, hold on. All right, you ready?
Yeah.